Your chicken on your next meal may be coming from a lab somewhere in USA, but hold your thoughts until you have heard it all. Lab-grown meat or cultured meat. Some call it slaughter-free meat, cell-based meat, clean meat, or synthetic meat. We are all referring to the same meat here, lab-grown meat. In the early 2000s, Jason Martini popularized the concept after he co-authored a paper on cultured meat production. In 2013, Mark Post created a hamburger patty made from tissue grown outside of an animal. Since then, other cultured meat prototypes have gained media attention. Now, here is why millions of dollars will be pumped into lab meat production. According to the United Nations, the world's population is going to reach 9.8 billion by 2050 and 11.2 billion in 2100. This means there will be need for 50% more production of food than we do now. In America alone, each person consumes up to about 220 pounds of meat each year. Our research here at 1957, however, shows that Ghanaian men living in Accra consume an average of 320 pounds of meat a year. As income levels rise, it is expected that meat consumption will also rise in Ghana. In Nigeria alone, beef consumption exceeds 794,000 pounds a year, accounting for half of all of West Africa. In Africa, some of our belief systems contribute to our excessive consumption of meat. For instance, many Nigerians will feel insulted if they are served food without meat, even for old men. They believe meat should be eaten as long as one has teeth. Experts say consumption is low per person compared with advanced economies, but it is growing fast and is expected to quadruple by 2050. To meet the increase in demand for meat and dairy, the government of Ghana set out an objective of increasing the supply of meat and dairy products from the then aggregate production level of 30% of domestic demand in 2007 to 80% of domestic demand by 2015. Now listen to this. Available data shows that in 2019 alone, Ghana imported 484 million Ghana cedis of meat, equivalent to $78.4 million. Just hold that thought for a moment. Are you still wondering why lab meat? Now, here is the global problem. Mr. Climate Change. Yes, climate change. Here in Ghana, it has been disclosed that nearly all fire outbreaks were human caused. Yes, human caused. Farming, which accounts for 19% and 15% from hunting. It was also found that at least 6 fire incidences affected an area averaging 31 hectares annually between 2002 and 2012. And you know, when trees go down, the atmosphere suffers. So once again, why not lab meat? No? Still not convinced? What about this? Wastage of fresh water. Have you thought of how much water we can save if we stop cooking all the meats? It takes 1,850 gallons of water to cook just 1 pound of beef and 720 gallons to cook 1 pound of pork. Don't forget the amount of water consumed by these animals in the farm their whole life. I am sure just the above data could serve a village 1 day of water supply. And here is the last major factor. Greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases coming from the animals themselves is way too much. There are currently about 20 billion chicken, 1.5 billion cattle, and about 1 billion pigs being raised for food. They will weigh more than all humans and other animals combined, and they constantly emitting carbon dioxide and nitrate oxide, all of which contribute to climate change. Considering all these problems, the scientists say we are in for a terrible reckoning. The other option is that we'll all become vegetarians.
Who are you talking to right now?
Remember, when the idea of accepting genetically modified food in Ghana hit our airwaves, it was such a big deal, but I'm sure a lot of us have enjoyed meals prepared with them without knowing. Well, what is your take on this? Leave your comments below and catch another episode of Not Loud Enough every Friday here on the 1957 channel.